How about Tesla? The SEC has sent subpoenas about Elon Musk's tweet about taking the company private. Joining us now is Harvey Pitt, former Securities and Exchange Commission chair. Harvey, welcome to the program. Good to see you, sir.
Good to be with you.
What is it that Musk could have done that would be illegal?
Well, there are potentially two areas. The first is he issued his tweet in the middle of the trading day. That's highly unusual and very problematic. Usually announcements are made before the market opening or after the close. The SEC probably will look at whether he had an intention to influence the price of the stock. As you know, it took a big jump up after he made his tweet. The second issue they'll look at, which is the more substantive in this particular case, I think, is whether Musk committed fraud. That is, whether his statements that he had funding secured and enough to pay shareholders $420 a share was in fact true. Those would be the two issues, and based on his subsequent blog post, it appears that he did not have secured funding, even though he said he did.
Okay. Now, without being pejorative, if that is the case, that he did not have the funding that he said he had, what are the consequences?
Well, the consequences range from a civil lawsuit by the SEC seeking injunctive relief, a court order saying he cannot ever do that type of thing again. The SEC has penalties that could bar him from being an officer or director of a public company if a court agrees with it. And he could pay significant monetary damages. In addition, although perhaps less likely, every violation of the securities laws is also a potential criminal case. So he could face criminal charges as well as civil charges.
Again, without knowing where this investigation will actually lead and what conclusions it will arrive at, do you think that Elon Musk's time as CEO, the runner of the Tesla company, is limited?
It's very hard to say right now, and particularly because he's an outsized personality. He's one of the rare CEOs who defines his company rather than the opposite. Therefore, I think the board will do everything in its power to try and keep him in place. But his conduct here looks very, very problematic.
Harvey, have you ever, for many years, you chaired the SEC. Have you ever seen anything like this before in your time at the Securities and Exchange Commission?
No, I've seen a lot of very strange things, but this may be one of the strangest things I've ever seen.
Is it legal, is it okay, so to speak, to make this announcement by tweet?
It's potentially troublesome, but it's not illegal. And my view is it's not the medium here. It was his message. The message and the timing and the manner in which he delivered it were all highly problematic.
When the SEC is looking at this, the secured financing for the privatization, how long does it take to look into that?
It shouldn't really take a long time, but they will need to take testimony. So there will be testimony, first document production, which, if the news stories about subpoenas is correct, will start fairly shortly. And then there will be interviews. Then the amassing of that data will have to be analyzed, and then a recommendation has to be made to the 5 commissioners. So we're looking at months, not days or weeks.
Well, that's a long time in this business. Harvey Pitt, thanks very much for joining us, sir. We do appreciate it. Thank you.
My pleasure.